Good evening, everyone. Today I wanted to share a powerful wisdom from the monastery that you may be familiar with or maybe not so familiar with, and this is regarding knowledge. Have you ever seen the image of the iceberg? And this represents the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. So you see the iceberg on top, just a small piece, maybe 10% of that on the very top. What that symbolizes is this is your conscious mind. This is what you are aware of. And then under the water, there's this big piece, maybe 90%. This is the unconscious mind. And for the human mind, there is so little that we know about it. But for me, I wanted to share this information because what kind of knowledge is there? Is there deeper knowledge? And if there is deeper knowledge, how do we access this wisdom? And this is what I feel like the monastery can help to shed some light on. So in Buddhism, there's 3 types of knowledge. The very first type of knowledge is from reading and listening. And many of you are familiar with this because we have access to this, and this is how we practice ourselves. The things that we hear from our teachers, we hear from our parents, we hear from other people. The things that we read, and now in modern society, we have so much access to it with the internet, with podcasts and videos. You have bookstores and libraries, so we have tons of access to this. And how do we gain this knowledge? Is read more, listen more, learn more, hear more, and keep in mind that this is only level 1 knowledge. The second type of knowledge that we can access to is then of all the things that you listen to, all the things that you paid attention to. Now bring that information and take time to reflect, take time to think. How does it connect? How does this information make sense? Is this correct? Is this information not correct? How do I feel about it? What are the research about it? But let it sit. Let it contemplate and let it really sink in. And this is the second level of knowledge. And then there is a third and the deepest kind of knowledge, and this is what I wanted to share with you. How do you access it, and what is this? And this level of knowledge is accessing knowledge without thinking. This comes from a still mind, where all of a sudden you have this wisdom. You have this knowledge. It's like a download. So it comes from a still mind, meaning you're not making sense of it. You're not creating something. You're not hearing from somewhere else, but it just comes spontaneously from a deeper place. How do we access this information? We access it through meditation. You hear it so often where meditation is so powerful. It's not only that meditation helps you to be calm, to be relaxed. Yes, that is one of the benefits of it, but also when we get our mind completely still, when we get our mind quiet, you can access treasures, you can access deep wisdom. That 90% that I was talking about in the unconscious mind, it's right here. And the way we do that is you gotta develop a meditation practice. Every single day, take time to get still. We all have this. However, why can't we access it? And why we can't access it is because our mind is too clouded. It's too tainted. There's too much noise, so you can't hear it. Imagine this is like a radio frequency. You're listening to the radio, but your signal is not strong. When the mind is clouded, when the mind is not clear, you can't hear. Another analogy I wanted to share is imagine like a river. When the rain comes, what happens is, again, the dirt. the debris starts to stir up. And when there's mud in the water, you can't see. But however, when the rainstorm is gone, it goes by, then the water gets still. The dirt and the debris settles all the way to the bottom. There, you can see all the treasures in the bottom. The rocks, the fishes, all the different plants and the coral. Yes, it's down there. So for me, I wanted to share this because at this point is we're bombarded with so much noise. And then how do we access something that is so deep within inside of us? And for me, this topic was so important is because I wish I had access to this knowledge sooner. And when I was a lay person before I came into the monastery, I only had access or practice knowledge 1 and 2. Of course, everyone wants to be smarter. Of course, everyone wants to be wise. And for me, it was no different. But how I achieved that is, again, I read as much as possible. I went to school. I listened to my teachers, I listened to my parents, I listened to as many smart people as possible. I would read, and for myself, then I correlated with go get an education, go get a college degree. Once you have a college degree, go get a master's degree. Once you have a master's degree, then go get a PhD. And for me, that represents knowledge. But keep in mind, all of this is just the first level. I thought I was very wise. I thought I was very knowledgeable because I had all these credentials. I took time to reflect. I took time to contemplate and to get these knowledge, to get this skill, to really absorb and digest. And the higher the education that I got, the more skills that I got, then it affected my career. I got a better job. Then again, you're seen in society as, wow, so much knowledge. But again, I didn't fully understand and know how to access. There's something deeper. Just because you have a higher education doesn't mean you know a lot. And coming to the monastery, this is what they teach us. For me, when I first came in, I still had the mindset of, I want to learn. Again, this is fantastic. But my mindset was, let me learn through books. Let me go get a higher education again. In this wisdom world, let me learn more. And what my teachers, what my masters, what they all told me in the monastery is no. Close the books. Close the books. What you have an opportunity to access here in the monastery is knowledge from level 3. If you can train yourself, if you can get your mind still and meditate a lot, wow, the treasure is inside of yourself. And we see that, and we have a very good model for our monastery, our master nun. She was the best of the best. She meditated better than anyone else. And for her, she was illiterate. She couldn't read and write, but because of the power of her mind, because she was able to bring to a stillness, she can access deep wisdom. Any question that people asked of her, she knew the answer because this was how deep this treasure was. And for me, coming into the monastery, it shifted my whole paradigm of one is just, again, get still, access that, and the answers will come immediately. It's so interesting because the issues that I was having, even here in the monastery, any problem that I had, I remember my, again, teaching monks would tell me, go meditate, go get still. In the beginning, I would get annoyed because I'm like, oh, really? Everything you're going to tell me the answer is meditation? If I have a problem with myself, meditation. If I have a problem with family, meditation. If I have a problem with peers, meditation. If I have a problem with a work issue, a project that I'm dealing with, meditation. And from trying it out, I realized that, wow, it's correct. And it's so strange, I don't know how it works, but by taking the time, it's so counterintuitive. Instead of trying to fix a problem, go sit still. Go get your mind so calm. How long would this take? I don't know. Depends how cloudy your mind is. And keep doing it and keep practicing. And what I've seen time and time and firsthand experience is the answer just comes. Have you ever heard of the saying where the answer is inside of you? I remember hearing that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Where is that? And when is that coming? But coming to the monastery and practicing, I can say this is so true. When you get still, all of a sudden, it comes immediately. Just like that. Where does it come from? But it just pops up. It's just a knowing. It doesn't come in slow pieces of information. It's not so logical, but poof, right there. All of a sudden, you get a download. All of a sudden, you know what to do. And you know how to solve these specific issues that you're dealt with. So for me, is hopefully you can take this wisdom from the monastery as well. Another way that I've seen how this shows up is the different people that we work with. Again, we get so lucky to work with many CEOs. We work with many founders. People come here to find themselves, successful people, digital nomads. Everyone comes here. And what they're trying to find is answers to their problems. You probably have heard of many successful CEOs where they take a hiatus. They go away for months, they go away for a year, and then all of a sudden, they start a new business. They come up with a new innovation where you're like, where did that come from? How did they access that inside of them? We work with artists and creatives who are stuck. They're stuck and they're in a block. And they don't know where to take their next project. They don't know where to take their careers. And what do we do with them? Come. Instead of just thinking and talking about your problem, come sit. Come get still. And what we're doing with them is helping them to access level 3 knowledge. And by doing nothing, again, a mind, this is what our master teaches, a mind that wants nothing gets everything. Again, let me repeat that. It's very deep. A mind that wants nothing gets everything. And this is the same in meditation. The moment that we don't crave or desire for an outcome, just allow the mind to purify itself. In that moment, inner experience will come. The wisdom, the knowledge, that unconscious part of you, it will just pop up just like that. And we see so many breakthroughs of the people coming here. And again, what they're doing is practicing themselves where let go of everything. Let go of your problems. Let go of your thinking. Let go of what you want things to be. Let go of what you're trying to achieve. And just sit. And in that moment, as they're practicing themselves, there you go. They're accessing that 90% of themselves that they don't have access to. But for me, I wanted to share this because hopefully this can remind you of how important meditation is. Also, that there's deeper wisdom that is inside of you. And this is not selective or exclusive just to the rich and the powerful and people who are special. No, don't play that game. But know that you, just like anyone else, has access to this. And as long as you have a mind, you can use the power of meditation to purify this mind. But it just takes time to practice, and it takes time to sit. But hopefully this is helpful for you. But keep practicing, and hopefully you can access this deeper wisdom and treasure inside of yourself and unlock it real soon. But as always, hope you all are doing well. Take care, everyone. Satu.